Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very excited to bring to you Jackson Calame. And let me tell you about Jackson. Jackson teaches visionary entrepreneurs how to unlock sustainable revenue growth and expand their legacy by becoming a power brand in their market. 96% of businesses fail within the first 10 years, and Jackson teaches businesses not only be able to avoid failure, but how to win by becoming a true leader in their market. So we're going to talk about holistic, impactful revenue growth. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Jackson Calame. Jackson, so excited to talk to you today about this. And I love that it's holistic. I believe that the things that we can do that are as authentic and as natural, organic is probably always the best. So we have two easy questions for you before we get into the meat of all of this discussion. And that is, first, share with everyone, where do you live? Where do you call home?
Oh, I think we're going to have a big rivalry. I am in New Braunfels, Texas. Go UT.
Yeah.
And Georgia and UT, we're going to go at it this year.
Well, I'm actually originally from Pittsburgh. And even though I've lived here in Georgia longer, I still support my Pittsburgh teams.
Awesome, as we should.
Yes. Sometimes, from a college perspective, sometimes my husband's alma mater doesn't do that well, although the last couple years they've been doing better.
Yes.
The second question is, we just gave a brief intro about what you do today, but I like to share always have you share with the audience that a little bit about the journey and the paths and the pivots in those paths that you took. It's not always a straight road to success. And so I love for you to share a little bit about that. No, not that I've ever seen, but anyway.
And math, sure. But yes, I'll try to keep it short. You can take me back as far as you want, or as much as you want. My mom was a single mom of 6. Her first husband died in a plane crash. She was 28, had 5 little girls. And then later she met my dad, and my dad is a charismatic alcoholic. So by the time I was 4, she had kicked him out, and she was an entrepreneur. So was my dad, so was my stepmom, so was my stepdad, so was my grandparents on both sides. I got to see the pros and cons of entrepreneurship firsthand. It never would leave my blood. My mom wanted me to be a technical writer. No, there could not be anything more boring or more secure than writing refrigerator manuals.
No.
Personality. I ended up graduating early. How? Why? I told my mom, I'm either dropping out or I'm graduating early. Take your pick. So I wasn't your fully stalwart, like, oh, I'm being perfect. Nope. I gave her a very hard ultimatum. My dad sent me to BYU, Brigham Young University, with an illegal gun underneath my seat for my drive. And I got there, managed to get a 0.33 GPA. That's hard to do. And spent a lot of time dating and playing pool and having fun, and went on a mission to Uruguay for 2 years. While I was there, got slapped by something I couldn't see that said, why don't you go home, take advantage of your education for once, learn about business, and help as many towns like this as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And I did. I decided that's what I needed to do and wanted to do with my life. So I went back and begged my way into the business school, and they said, not a chance. And I walked out of there saying, what the heck do I do? Like, how do I know I want to do this? They told me to change my major. I was, nice about it, but I left just like in a fog. And it just dawned on me. I remember walking out of that office building and thinking, okay, I've got to find a business owner who's willing to take a chance on me. That's what I need to do. Maybe school is great, maybe it would be important, but I don't know how to do this school thing.
The apprenticeship, huh?
That's it. So I went into business and worked my little butt off in every little thing that I could, trying to figure it out, making all the same mistakes as others, running credit cards up, figuring out how to get in. Ended up at a startup where our investor was Paul Buchheit, the inventor of Gmail, and Matt Cutts, the search director of Google. I was the first sales rep hired. Was also one of the first ones laid off 5 months later. And I came back to work the next day. And they said, what the heck are you doing? We just let you go. And I said, I'm this close. And so within 20 days, I ended up closing 20 newspapers. The company had 7 newspapers working with our software solution in 7 years. So that 20 newspapers, about 36,000 in transactions plus a 70-30 split. 2 weeks later, Paul Buchheit and Matt Cutts sent us $10 million. We had proven the concept. I was a pain in the butt, Vicki. I was an awful leader. And so I thought that was my chance to become a co-founder. It wasn't. Then later co-founded another company. We bootstrapped for 3 years, raised $100,000 with the Baylor Angel Network. Then I went to Video Power Marketing. Video Power Marketing, we ran some of the top viral YouTube video ad campaigns of all time. And ran ads for Entrepreneur Fire, John Lee Dumas, Michael Hyatt, T. Harv Eckert, Even Pagan, Dr. Eric Berg. My job was to help Jake recognize which companies were set up for scale, so we could have these awesome case studies and to tell them, don't touch this brand. They are not ready for scale. And I'm that guy who will, if you will allow me to, I will tell you what is getting in your way and why it is you are not ready. Or I will be polite as I can and keep my mouth shut and not want to be friends with you, because I like authenticity and honesty, and I love to help people win.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with your simple 8-layer foundation for this holistic, impactful revenue growth?
If that story says anything about my relationship with simplicity, I'll leave it at this. It took me 14 grueling years to have my success, and all of the years of background and opportunities for trauma to sort through that, figure it out, and just really stay focused on, how much do I love others and how much do I want to create a great life for myself and for those around me. And I serve. I learned to find an appreciation for the service that I like, which is healing people. I really love helping people, but I don't like to mow lawns, and I don't like to do all the typical manly stuff that people say I'm supposed to do. So God blessed me with a back surgery at 28 that decommissioned the need to do all the manly stuff, and that empowered me to focus on, wait a second, sitting and listening to somebody is a service.
Yeah, it is.
Hearing people's stories, allowing them to express where they come from. So as I worked with all those brands, there were certain brands that really captured my attention. Video Power Marketing is one of them, Jake Larson. If you're looking for a mentor out there, you're like, who's the best person in the world to follow right now? Jake's up there. I'd nominate him. He's an amazing father, he's an amazing husband, and he's an amazing businessman. So I watch people like that, and because I didn't have a dad that I should look up to for most things,
Right.
I kind of gravitated towards like, all right, well, who do I model in order to become a good father myself? And then there was Eric Berg, Dr. Eric Berg. He says, call me Eric Jackson. I'm like, okay, Dr. Eric Berg. I was terrified of this guy. And Vicki, I was terrified because he had just paid $500 for a session with Jake. And I was the guy who showed up, just Jackson shows up, 26-year-old, short haircut, insecure Jackson shows up. And I have to tell this guy, I have to find a very strategic way, and I wasn't very strategic, to tell him he's got one of the worst websites I've ever seen.
Mhm.
So I went into there knowing how brutally honest I am and trying to like bridle that. I asked him about changing the colors on his website. He doesn't argue, he takes notes. And I'm like, wow. Okay, he actually like listened. Like, okay,
Mhm.
how many more newsletters from brands do you want out there, Eric? And he's like, none. Nobody wants your newsletter.
Mhm.
And he's like, okay, what do I do? Not, well, why would you say that? I'm a doctor. Everybody wants mine. No ego, nothing pretentious. Just wants to figure. And I said, well, you've got to create an irresistible offer, something people really, really want to have
Yeah.
in order for them to want to opt in. I said, okay, I can do that. I got that. And so he's eating up these notes like he's not a doctor, like he's somebody who
Yeah.
actually like wants to learn in life. And so I say, can I just be really honest with, like brutally honest with you? And he goes, yeah. And I said, your website is so bad, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole if it wasn't for this meeting. I would never send my family or friends to it because it looks like somebody stole your identity and they're
Yeah.
trying to steal my identity. You're never going to scale successfully with this brand. And this is a guy with 106,000 subscribers on YouTube. He could have
Wow.
crushed me right then and there and said, you're just Jackson, what do you know? I already have 106,000. I've already done this. He said, give me 3 days. 3 days later, he comes back with his brand overhauled. That was in 2016. If you look now, he's at over 12 million subscribers worldwide. I did not do that. He did that. He just
Mhm.
had the willingness and the ability to pull his blinders off, let go of his ego, be self-aware. He focused on his vision. He made the vision clear for people.
Mm.
He had a culture that people wanted to belong to, because people want to belong in life.
Yeah,
That
that's true.
attracts great leaders.
Mhm.
You attract great leaders. Now we have something to market. Nobody cares about your product or your service. Nobody cares
That's
about my
right.
product or service. We go to
That's
the
right.
movies that are Disney movies if we're Disney fans, no matter how much they market. You have to already belong to that vision, culture, and leadership.
Yeah.
And then the operations, fulfillment, sales, and support. You have to have an operations guru, or you will end up like Ja Rule, creating a fake event and going to jail. But if you are
Yeah.
Elon Musk and you sell 180,000 cars from stage that won't exist for 2 to 3 years, and then you fulfill on it, you become the next Thomas Edison or Albert Einstein. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of pieces that go into that. And it doesn't matter how you figure it out as much as are you willing to follow that simple path, even though it's a very hard path.
Yeah. Well, nobody said it was supposed to be easy.
I didn't. A lot of bro marketers will.
Yeah.
A lot of boss
So,
babes will.
so what are some of your business goals and needs in the next year?
Hmm.
You've already accomplished a lot, but the world changes so fast, especially now. And what you might have had as your strategic plan 5 years ago is probably something to toss out right now. So what's really what's on the agenda, and who are you collaborating with to get
Great
that?
questions. Such great questions. That's a lot of questions in one. The first one, I'm so grateful for Darren Hardy's Success Magazine
Yes,
and the
I'm a
10-year
big
plan
dare.
process, right? I did
Mhm.
that 10-year plan back when I was 21. I will never, ever probably do it again. I might have an assistant help me on it while I'm on a treadmill or something, or while I'm plugged into the mic, but no way will I sit down and do that process. I'm grateful for the 4-hour work week and Tim Ferriss saying, I
Yeah.
don't plan more than 6 months in advance. And I have certain systems and components that plan for me now that I've organized those processes enough, one time, and I optimize it once in a while. But I'm very in the present, and that's what
Mm.
allows me to be in the present. And so my goal is to be my best self in this moment, not even just today, in this moment. If I screw that up, then how can I get into forgiveness at my best,
Yeah.
apply it instantly, not say, you know what, I'll do better tomorrow. No, I'm going to do better right now, and I'm going to go to sleep well. Thank you. Like
Hmm.
it's so amazing how we can apply so many great things to our lives. And yes, atomic habits can help us get there. The ability to set SMART goals and BHAG goals and beyond, they're all essence that have pieces that have a massive influence on what I gravitate towards. But I'm mostly focused on where I'm at right now. Who am
Hmm.
I collaborating with in this moment? There's an obvious alignment, and for me, there's an obvious divine alignment of those realities. And if the other person can't recognize it, that's okay. I need to make space for that. If they can recognize it, well, we might end up being strategic partners or collaborators. We might be doing something much bigger together. And I don't get married to the expectation because I used to be addicted to it. And I read a quote by Shakespeare when I was going through my first divorce. Not trophies I'm collecting, by the way. I'm a very big family man. I love family. It's hard to do. Takes two as well. But I read this quote that said, expectation is the root of all heartache. My heart broke. I felt it. I was like, dang, no wonder why my heart hurts so bad. No wonder why the world we live in is in such turmoil. Is quarterly expectations. Somebody expects their wife to do the dishes, or somebody expects their husband to provide. We put all these unrealistic entitlements. That's the synonym, by the way, to expectation on people, not realizing that it is an absolute vice that mirrors the virtue of aspiration, which is a word we long forgot about.
Yeah.
Aspiration being tied to hope. What do we do to the word hope? Oh, I hope she doesn't screw that up. Oh, I hope he gets it right this time. We have managed as a society to destroy virtues little by little. And as I came to introspectively realize that and realize, no, I want more wholesome relationships. I want people in my life who appreciate me as a person with strengths, weaknesses, has opportunities and threats. And I want to be able to embrace people fully, whether it's the good, bad, or the ugly. And each day just continues to get better as I do that.
Yeah. I love that you talk about hope because, it is true. There are a lot of people that are very cynical whenever you say that you hope, uh, that you have hope. And for me,
What
I
do you
think,
mean? Don't you think it's possible? Right? That's the reaction in the world,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, it's like, but gosh, a world without hope, I think, is a very, very sad place.
Yeah. It,
Mm.
it, it definitely can be. And so it's one of those opportunities to just, step into light. And I create communities that I want to
Mhm.
belong to.
Yeah,
Harry,
yeah.
my one of my strategic partners asked me the other day. He didn't ask me. First, he said, "Jackson, you want to be doing this till the day you die, don't you?" And I said, "Harry, he said because I don't know. I might want to be in this for like 5 to 20 years." And I thought he was going to say 5 to 20 months. And so he finished what he was saying. I said, "So do I get to answer your question from my own perspective because you already projected what you think I'm going to do?" By telling me that I'm going to be at this time. He's like, oh, and we're executive training, how to listen to people, right? How to not project on others. And he's just, so how long do you want to be doing this? And I said, look, man, best case scenario, we've got an entire C-level that's come in at first class business. I've got a CEO, a COO, a CMO, a CLO, a CTO that all run this organization to far greater capacities than I myself can. And it would take me some time to vet that, but I would ideally move to the board within 1 to 3 years. And then as a board member, I'm available for anything they want or for anything. If I see them drifting culture, then I can come in and talk about why we need to stick to love, patience, consistency, reliability, and persistence. But I want to be spending a lot of my time on bridging the economic gap between North America and South America and rest of the world with my other program opportunities. And so what do I see myself doing? again, it depends on who all comes into my life, and am I willing to open my arms in abundance and help those people catch the vision by seeing if their vision aligns with what we're up to. If it does, why not join forces?
Mm. Such a great idea. When I retired in 2018, I just, I spent a couple years just doing fun stuff but I just thought it's not right that if you have gifts and if you have a real desire to help others like you, then you should do that. And no matter if it's hard, no matter if it's not what the typical retiree thinks that they should do, but I think it's just like your obligation that you should do that to help others because that's how we make the world a better place.
Well, we have the freedom too, though, and I think I have a hard time with theories of obligations, and the mindsets of need to and have to, right?
Hmm.
Because those are I'm going to be blunt. They're slave-inducing terms. They're controlling mechanisms, right?
Mm.
And so, do I have the obligation to, or do I have the opportunity to as well?
Yeah,
It's kind of
that's
a glass half
sure.
full, half empty type of reality, and we do box ourselves in, on those realities. And sure, is there a sense of duty associated with it? Yes, and can I see the value,
Mm.
of diving into that because I've read enough stories and seen enough older people who get to that retirement point and feel empty, and feel purposeless. Or I listened to that song by Everclear, Father of Mine, enough,
Mm.
bothered by my own father's situation where, he says, I swear, I have a child of my own now. I swear I'm never going to let her know all the pain I have known. Right. And he talks about the guy, how do you sleep at night when you've abandoned your wife and you've abandoned your kids? And I realized, look, I love my father. I'm grateful for him. He did a lot of good things. And one of the moments in my life, I was 18 years old when I found his journal. And his journal had like 3 pages, one positive, and then an experience that broke him down. And he had plenty of experiences that broke him down before that. But he said in there, I'm depressed. And I was shocked. I never saw my dad as somebody who could experience that. The next page had one more entry, 2 words, still depressed.
Mm.
And that was the end of his journal and story. And so, first time I saw my dad as somebody who wasn't bulletproof, but it's also something that helped me see I don't want that to be my story.
Mm.
So I want a story of fulfillment, of purpose. I know that it takes hard work to have a six pack. I don't have one yet. I know that it would require some hard work. I know that it takes hard work to be a great dad, but I also know that life is just as hard for people who are 400 pounds. Life
Mm.
is just as hard for people who aren't there for their families. And so you're going to have a hard path no matter what you do. If you're looking for easy, good luck. I mean, blessings
Mm.
to you if you find it, but
Yeah.
I just want a great life, and that's not going to come from me choosing the easy route.
So let's talk a little bit about business challenges. Give us a few examples of some of the challenges that you currently are helping people solve for, you know, their business success and
Yeah. Well, we're experts in lead generation, and helping people get their oxygen. Business owners need
yeah.
the oxygen in order to thrive. And we are experts at sorting through the people who are ready for that and the people who are not. And it's not a pretty fun process, oftentimes. But we need people who are either great leaders or they want to be great leaders.
Mm.
So there's a lot of assessment that goes in on the front side of it. And I just wrote an article on LinkedIn, and the title is Media is Your Key to Success, or Will It Destroy You? And I've seen there's far more stories out there of people who were destroyed by scaling their businesses too fast.
Yeah.
Those who are successful, but guess what? It never makes the news. Why? Because it was irrelevant. They never made it to a point of relevance.
Mm.
So if 96% of business owners are losing, and you talk to the 4% who are winning after 10 years, and you're a great enough consultant that they'll be honest with you, you will find out that those business owners have higher debt tolerances and risk tolerances. They are far better at stepping into saying, like, painting a rosy picture for those around them. Their marriages are on the rocks, but they've suffered so much through the process of trying to stick it out that they've got some resilience with them. But no, I see most of the ones who've made to the survival point of 4%, most of them are suffering with the similar realities of those who failed. And if you want to find those who are successful in a private sector, you have to look at who has repeated success multiple times. Who has really found that out? Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos. There's a lot of leaders out there that we could look to, but what do we typically do? We villainize them. I'm not heralding them. I'm not saying they're God. I'm just saying they happen to have some formulas. There's a great book called As a Man Thinketh that teaches that. Virtues lead you to the right types of success. Vices lead you downward. Great dads are often lazy. Great businessmen are often bad fathers, right? And so I was like, well, how do I just become both? And that's what I look for, is how do I develop the virtues that lead to the successes? So I try to instill the same types of principles with the entrepreneurs we work with. Is you've got to create a vision we can all see and understand, which means defining your own personal boundaries. When are you going to be working and when are you not going to be working? What is it that you want your ideal home and business life to look like? Day by day. I said, when are you going to be working, when you're not? I'm not talking about Monday through Friday. I'm talking about this book, The Effective Executive. Break down every single minute of what you're doing with your time. And if you prove to me that you don't know how to work hard, I'm going to distance myself from you. That's not somebody I want to work with. You don't inspire me. You're not going to inspire LeBron James to come to a franchise where nobody cares what's going on and nobody's fighting for a championship. It's not going to happen. So we try to help leaders lead based on those principles, and we do a lot of evaluating on the front end of what are their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Everything from vision statements, mission statements, core values, the legal agreements they have in place, the procedures, the manuals, the handbooks, the instructions. Most people just want an article that says take these 7 steps. And they wonder why they get the same results that other Forbes and Inc. clients have for 100 years. They're all failing. Why are we following what everybody else is doing?
Yeah. Such great advice being shared here, y'all.
Thank you.
I'd like for you to talk a little bit about your podcast. Time's running out, so spend some time talking about Vision Pros Live.
Yeah, so I'm not one to tell people what to do anymore. I used to, and I was a very bad leader by doing that. I would lead sheeple to
Sheeple?
Sheeple would be the people.
I love that.
Grant Cardone is one of the greatest sheeple leaders there is. I love him as a human being. I absolutely hate his methods. We are all meant to have our own visions. Vision Pros Live is about honoring my guests and allowing them to come on stage and talk to us about what their vision is for others. Now, if you come on my stage and you try to promote the heck out of your book, irregardless of it not having any reviews, and the fact that you've had an agency with 300 clients, but you can't even get your own mother to leave a review on Amazon, there is something seriously wrong with that equation and that picture. So does that mean a book can't be promoted? No. I want your authentic self to come on my show. And I'm going to ask questions that are very authentic, not be your promoter just because you landed on my stage. Vision Pros Live is designed to get into the hearts and minds of visionaries and explore what challenges have they faced, what successes have they had, what principles do they follow for success, what is it they're learning from those that they work with, what is it that they're teaching to those that they've worked with. It's a full exploration of what's the most powerful lesson you can teach your audience based on your experience as a visionary. What 3 resources got you here to where you are today? We're diving as deep as it's like my own little rich dad poor dad experience where you as leaders come in and teach me, because Vicki, as an example, you got decades of wisdom that are different than my decades of wisdom, and you got more years of experience than I do, and that's a beautiful, wonderful thing that I need to be able to lean into And there I go with that controlling word, right? I need to. No,
Mhm.
I have the opportunity to
Mhm.
lean into that and learn from you as somebody who's got divine gifts. And if I do that, it just might help me refine my processes a little bit better and get a little bit better at what I do. So Vision Pros is all about that. And everybody who has a vision to help others, come and share with us.
Yes. Again, that website or that podcast is Vision Pros Live, and you can find that on YouTube, of course. We're going to allow you to take the opportunity to capture a screenshot, as always, that has this contact information. If you're just listening, and I tell you this every time, but if you didn't take notes, please go get a paper and pencil so you can, or put in your phone note the website's information so that you can reach out and
I took
chat with.
notes.
That's right, chat with Jackson to see, how the two of you might collaborate together, that if there's some alignment there. If you do, if you are watching, you can get that screenshot. All of this information, though, will be on my YouTube channel, Vicki Noethling. So please subscribe if you haven't, as well as the findyourleadershipconfidence.com show notes. So the websites, and I would suggest you take a look at all of them, see which one resonates with you the most, and then make sure you comment to Jackson about why you like that particular website. I'd love for you to be able to share that with him. So the first one is firstclassbusiness.io. Again, firstclassbusiness.io. The next is visionproslive.com, visionproslive.com. And then the last is passionpro.org. Again, passionpro.org. So check those out. If you like social media, and he's on everything, so go to Facebook by searching his name, Jackson Calame. That's JacksonCalame. Instagram is firstclassbusiness.io. LinkedIn is his name again, Jackson Calame. X, again, Jackson Calame, but this time you're going to initial cap that J and C. TikTok is at Vision Pros Live. YouTube at First Class Business. Again, that's at First Class Business. I'm going to turn it over to Jackson. He's going to tell you about a webinar he has, and also a little bit of what you might find if you visit those websites, or where he spends the most time in social media. So Jackson, it's all yours.
Thank you, Vicki. First Class Business has a tagline you'll see right away that says a little bit about our style and a little bit about our funkiness. It says, "Hey, Batman, let us be your Alfred." That's the butler in the Batman movies that makes sure that Batman does the right thing and doesn't die. And he works with Mr. Fox to make sure the company's running at scale. Batman's out there saving the day. We want you out there saving the day, doing the things that you love. Let us take care of all the minutia and the rest. So the Power Launch webinar is our way to expose what our path looks like. And it is a 2.5-hour webinar. Of course, it's free. But is it really? No, you have to invest your time in that. And I want to honor and respect that. So I created, how do I summarize in 14 years, of learning why what's not working in the market isn't working, and what I would do instead to build a successful, cohesive bridge. Because I want my clients within 45 to 180 days to have $20,000 in new revenues coming in per month. That means within a month and a half to 6 months, we want that to transpire. But I'm telling you right now, it is hard work. It's going to take a team. And if you avoid a team and you avoid the hard work, you're still going to do hard things. So I would hope you take the time to look at that. For all of the people that are listening right now, because you're friends with Vicki, I will give you 100% free access to the back-end infrastructure as well. It's normally like, I don't know, it's like $49 a month or $99 a month. Why do we do that? We do it to push people away. That's why we do it. We don't want people moving forward with us that don't go through this process of respecting and honoring our depth, because it takes great depth to create a great foundation of infrastructure. So I'll give that to Vicki so she can drop that in the link as well. What you then get access to is the entire roadmap, all the procedures, all the resources, all the templates. You can try to do it by yourself. My last warning is I never succeeded as a solopreneur. I
Yeah.
loved to act like it. I loved to think that I was going to be the person who could do it all myself, but you don't want to build your own Tesla Model S by yourself. You need the experts to come in and help you build out what it looks like. And that may not be my team, but you'll be exposed to the back end. Those of you who try to do it by yourself, you're going to end up giving up and saying, this sucks, this is hard. It's never meant to be that way. It's meant to be the roadmap for your team to know what they're doing so that you know what they're doing. And we could all be very, very wealthy much faster if we stopped going for the simple, easy, get rich quick pathways.
Yeah, such good advice. Again, and I don't think that you said where you spend the most time on social media. Is there any one place that you spend the most time?
Absolutely. I spend almost no time on social media. So I'm a single father of 4. I've been a stay-at-home dad since 2010, long before COVID. And I've done a pretty good job of remaining present. Sometimes I got sucked into the social media stuff. No, I got assistants who run it. I'll occasionally post some pictures on there and memories with family. But that stuff, for success to happen, that stuff's got to be distributed. And I can't spend my time. I want to spend my time with human beings. So do the old school thing, connect with me on there, or just give me a phone call. You can get my information. It's out there. You just have to be willing to reach out to the great leaders in the world and not be scared of it. I'm not going to bite you, especially through the phone.
Awesome. So Jackson, so good to chat with you. As I said, you shared so many great points, and I love your authenticity, no holes barred. I mean, just say it like it is, because, that's what some people need to hear. And I hope that we can do this again in the future. Just continue our conversation. Loved having you as a guest.
Thank you, Vicki. It's my honor. This was amazing. And if you're all looking for leadership advice, if you're not looking for leadership advice, I hope you take the opportunity to. And people like Vicki, again, they've got so much experience in the process. And one of the things that I caught today, Vicki, is just how sincere you are about nurturing people and like really making sure people know where to go and what to do, and to have that level of patience as a leader in a world where, again, everything's supposed to be fast and quick and hyped. I love it. So thanks for being who you are.
Thanks so much. As always, I remind everyone that life is a journey. It's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.